Hello and good morning. I guess it might not be morning while you're watching this, but I am making this video to show you how I Bible journal or how I've been Bible journaling the past year. And I brought an example of my Bible journal. This is just one of those cling wall stickers that I got from the Dollar Tree, and I stuck it on this book. And here is a just a random sticker that I had. But anything that I learn or any kind of enlightenment that I get throughout the year, I try to stick it in here. And I feel like it's a reflection of all the things that I've learned. So if I'm watching a video, sometimes I'll write who the video person is, like who the instructor is. There's some Jordan Peterson stuff in here, some quotes from the lady who is our Bible study leader. I'm trying to flip fast because you don't really need to read my actual notes. This is kind of personal and deep, but just we're gonna prep our book for this. So this is a book that I got from not Goodwill. I got this one at Hobby Lobby. So I'm using the same one this year because I find that if I have a repetition in this way, I'll remember that this is the one that I'm doing this in. And it is one with all these little dots on it. I forget what they're called. Dot journal maybe. But one of the things I picked up at Hobby Lobby while I was there that I think is new and different for this year, or that I'm going to try, are these little kits that you can get for scrapbooking. So it was $9.99, but it was on sale for 40% off this week. So I just grabbed this one, and this one's very Jesus-centric. It's got lots of Jesus mentions. Nothing can take my hallelujah. That might be nice to like look up in your Bible and see if that's actually in there, if that's a hymn, or if that maybe is a Christian song. You could write the the lyrics of that song. Anything that you feel like is leading you closer to God and helping you love others, I think is the kind of the thing that you want to put in this book. So this is a book about that. So I'm going to kind of prep this out, but I also wanted to kind of give you a little lesson, or not give you a lesson, but just tell you the reason I'm doing this today is because I did get an enlightenment kind of aha moment, as Oprah used to call them. But I have all this ephemera that I used to buy at Hobby Lobby. I don't find that I use this very much. So I stuck them all in this book just with some hot glue, and I can rip them off and reattach them into my journals whenever I want to. It's easier to kind of thumb through. Hindsight, I would have used sticky dots. I used hot glue, and I feel like maybe I went a little heavy-handed on the hot glue. If I'd have gone a little lighter, maybe it would work. But something I painted, just anything you have that you're holding on to in bags and it would take you a long time to sort, might be a good idea to do a few of these and put them into colors. So do all your pinks, all your purples, all your blues, something like that might be a good idea. And then this is where I put my stickers. These are all stickers. I picked these up at Hobby Lobby a long time ago. This is Dollar Tree. The other ones are Hobby Lobby. This is Amazon. This is Amazon. These are those little clear, they're kind of clear when you pull them off, and I don't really like them. I don't like using them, but whatever. Some people might like those. And a lot of people use them for doing tags because they have that clear look. Here, I'll show you if I can peel it off. See how it's kind of, you can see what's behind it a little bit. I don't want to stick it on there because I might use those. Uh-oh, here we go. See, it says Ecstatic Sunny. Anyway, that's dumb and doesn't make any sense, but whatever. That's there now. Anyway, there you go. That's that. And my lesson for today, I don't think I do anyway. Let me look. So there are two other sticker books that I really like to pull from. This one I just got. This is brand new, so I haven't even used any of the stickers in it. But she's a French artist, and I love her work. My sister gifted me a book with this artist, her work, and I absolutely love it. I just think it's so kitsch and like kind of, I don't know really what the word is. We kind of tried to describe this at one of my Galentine events that I did at home. Like, what is it about her work? But like, it's kind of realism on the verge of cartoonism. I don't know. I love it. I think it's great. Look how cute this little Noah's Ark is. Anyway, that's her. Natalie Lette, I think is how you say that. And then this is John Darien. I got this off of Amazon, but his store is in New York. So if any of you guys are in New York and you want to go check out his store, go ahead and check it out. I got this one years ago, and this is the one I use probably the most in this book. You'll see, like, this is a John Darien. These are old, that's not John Darien. What is this? Oh, here we go, John Darien. I did a study on the rivers in the Bible when it was talking about rivers versus mountains, crossing rivers, going up mountains. This was a Hobby Lobby sticker. Okay, I'm not really going to get into all this, but... Okay, that's my one from last year, and I'm ready to do my new one. I do love my stickers. What's his name? Darien Stickers. He does have a brand new one out. I think it's $30. If you wait a little while, it'll go on sale, and you can get it for less. But these are all copyright-free images that I believe he's gathered and scanned, or... I'm not exactly sure. It's kind of like the Graphics Fairy, if you know who that is online, where she has all these free to use images that you can download and just use them. But this is my book, and my first lesson, I try not to use the first page because I feel like it keeps it kind of protected. But my first lesson was over the liturgy was this past week, not this week, but this past week was about Jesus is teaching on be the salt and be the light. And Father Mike Schmitz was talking about salt and what salt means, the different properties of salt, especially in biblical times, and what Jesus was saying. And he said there were 4 properties of salt for a preservative use, an antiseptic. It adds flavor and brings out the flavor of other things. And the part that struck me was in my Bible study, I learned a long time ago that salvation is a word for, it comes from the word salve, like no, not salve. Like you put a salve on to heal a wound. So that's what salvation is. It's to heal the wounds of us, essentially. So that's our salvation, the healing of our wounds. And I don't think we talk about that kind of stuff enough. You know, we all are wounded. We all come from, we hear the word thrown around a lot, trauma, but we all come from some sort of traumas, you know, where we feel like we've been injured or we have these wounds that only Jesus can heal, and through his good and perfect love. And the reason he is so healing is because his love is unconditional. Now, in some of the church branches, and I'm not hating on anybody, there's a reason for all of them. I truly feel like there's a reason for all of them, so everybody can come to the Father. The reason that Jesus heals our wounds is because it's unconditional. His love is unconditional. And in our lives, we meet people who love us conditionally. You know, I feel like as our relationship grew, my husband and I, we began to love each other unconditionally. But it wasn't always like that in the beginning. There's no way it was like that in the beginning. I think what I'm going to do is store these in here and stick it on one of these pages, or maybe on the inside. I don't know if I'm going to use this, but I do have some like clear sticky envelopes, and I cannot find them. When I moved into this space, I don't know what I did with all of my stuff. So let me make sure it's recording. Yeah, okay. I am recording. All right, cool. All right, so if you didn't know that about salvation being a salve and being like an antiseptic, something that gets rid of all the bacteria and the gunk and the icky stuff that is in our lives, I thought I'd share that because it really struck me today or over the week. Just how deep this goes sometimes in our relationship with Christ, because you may not hear it as that, like to be the salt. You may just be thinking, oh, I'm adding flavor. I'm the flavor of this branch of Christ. You know, I'm going out and doing my thing, sharing the gospel in my way, in my flavor. Amazing, wonderful. That's all great. But there's also, it's like fourfold. So, and Jesus is like that. In the things that he teaches, it's always like some sort of deep wandering into these realizations is the best way I can say it. There's probably a Christian way of saying it, like Christianese enlightenment, or I don't know another word for enlightenment. Maybe it's like revelation. Dude, yes, I do know another word. Revelation. So this was a revelation to me that this is an antiseptic and salvation is our antiseptic. And when we are the salt, we're going out and we're cured of that bacteria or disease. And that's what we're supposed to be going out and acting like, you know. So there's a scripture line that says, if you heal, no, I'm saying it wrong. I'm butchering this, but I'll try to look it up. When you forgive the sins of others, those sins will be forgiven you. Or it's like the measure the stick you use to measure another is the stick that will be used to measure you. So essentially, like every time you're judging someone for something, you're gonna get judged for that thing too. So you need to make sure, and it's the same thing. Like if you have a plank in your, don't talk about the plank in someone else's eye when you have a whole log in your eye that needs to be removed, you know? So that's that. I'm going to prep these and see what I can do and come up with. I don't know if I like picture frames around what I'm writing, but why not? Let's try it. We could do that and then add a sticker inside and then journal in here. So one of my biggest pet peeves with journaling and junk journaling is that they don't leave anywhere to journal. So I am like, what are we doing this for? Like, why are we making all these books if there's nowhere to journal? And this little heart I got at Hobby Lobby, and I'm going to turn it into a bookmark. I picked up these little bookmarks, and see, it's already got like a little circle on it. All I have to do is open that little jump ring and then close it up onto that circle, if you can see. And then I'm going to have this cute little two metal toned bookmark. You can make your own bookmarks, obviously. Sorry, I just hit the camera. All right, so what am I using to do this? Let's get some glue. You know what I want to do is draw salt. I didn't really see a salt image in the John Darien, but if it were gonna exist, it would have been in there. I mean, well, of all the things that I own, I don't think I have a picture of salt. But it doesn't have to be verbatim, like whatever you're studying, it doesn't have to be the exact same thing. Like there are times when I wrote in my other one where like there's a bee, but this one was about imitating the bees. So St. Francis of Sales, in his introduction to the devoted life, it says, if your mind finds enough appeal, light, and fruit in any of them, that is whatever point in the prayer, remain with that point and do not go any further. Imitate the bees who do not leave a flower as long as they can extract any honey out of it. So this one made sense, but like breath of life here, the Hebrew breath / wind are the same word. I put a bird. Birds fly on the wind, so it kind of goes. Why is there a tree here? Who knows? I don't know. But see, it works. It all works because it's all you. So eventually it all becomes just a reflection of you. So this was last year at the Lenten season. Yeah. So anyway, that's kind of, I like, see that John Darien, I'm going to have a hard time sticking to this kind of pastel palette when I'm drawn to a more vibrant palette. And you know what? Maybe I'll do this for a little while and then realize I don't like it and move on. So I think that I'm going to turn this into a tag just by popping a hole. And then I have a container with some string. Let's see what kind of string I have. This is how I started storing everything in my new craft room. What kind of string? I like this. Reminds me of crabbing string when we used to go crabbing with my dad. I miss those times. I don't know. Is that Eastery? It kind of has a feeling of Easter. Okay, I'm going to do that. Kind of long, too long, but it's fine. Okay, you do that, and then you just make the loop and then pull it through. Easy peasy. Okay, and then it's like, where are you going to attach that? So now I have to figure out a way to attach that. Let's see, I could put another hole here and tie it through there. That could work. I feel like I didn't give that enough thought, so I'm going to give that some more thought and figure out. Maybe I save this for a next page and make a little pocket I have all these papers too. Oh, I didn't even show the papers. Look at these papers. Doesn't that look serene? And then the birds. It's kind of like an abstract painting. Yeah. So this was at Hobby Lobby. And basically that's what I'm going to do today. Oh, look, my glue is not working. If this doesn't stick too good, I'll go back and just use a little bit of hot glue. Or use a little combination of both. Anyway, that's what's going on. That's a lesson I learned last week. I don't really have anything else to talk about. Nothing to really complain about. Saw the, the Bad Bunny halftime show. Everybody's talking about that. I don't really feel like it's worth mentioning. I thought it was beautiful. I didn't understand anything he was saying. But we Googled some of the lyrics, and I couldn't read them aloud to my son. So I was like, not impressed with that. And who knows if that's what he was saying then, but I was Googling his music because I couldn't understand, like, even... I'm not a fan of his. So for me, it was not really like, oh, cool, I get to see, somebody that I grew up listening to. So I guess they're targeting a younger audience, for whatever the goal of that is, to like do a performance mostly in another language. But I know that we do, especially in Texas, have a huge Spanish population. So good for them. I'm glad if they're fans of that music, that worked out great for them. Okay, so I think this on an envelope might be kind of cool. Should I even use... I can probably even just use an envelope. Uh-oh, my string box. Yeah, I don't get too worked up about stuff like that anymore. I think I used to. I do think there was a time in my life where when everybody was talking about that thing, I'd get so, like, worked up about it. And my daughter came home from school and said that she got into a conversation with somebody at school. Look at this. I just found this. That's got to go in there, huh? I mean, it's almost... Okay, it's like the real-life version. So this, I think what I can do is wrap it. Or even make it smaller. Yeah, that's what I'll do. What size do I want it? So just play, just have fun, and then as your enlightenment comes, like that quote that I read, be like a bee and gather as much information from it as you can. So that was the lesson that Father Mike Schmitz, the Catholic priest, does every week. He goes through the liturgy. Now, I'm not Catholic, I'm an Episcopalian, but at the Episcopalian church, we go through the same lesson. So I get it twice. So I get two versions of the same liturgy, or two versions of someone's interpretation of it. So I get to learn more. I don't know if it's frowned upon to do that, but I don't really care what people think. I like to go deep in the word and see where it leads me. Okay, I'm thinking of cutting it. And look how I cut that all trashy. Oh well. That's how I do. I guess that's how I do. Trashy art. I don't even know if this microphone is going to work for this. I got a new little microphone. Actually, my son got it, and he said it wasn't what he was looking for his gaming. So he got a different one, and I asked to have it. And then, all right. Yeah, so I think I'm just going to cut it. Where are those scissors? I usually tuck them in that silver. Oh, they were there. These scissors I picked up in New York with my friend. Dude, I cannot cut straight. None of this is precise. It's just for fun. Do I want it like that where I can only see the string? Nah. Nah. I'm going to go a little bit. I could use my paper cutter, I guess. I could try to be more precise. But it's for me. It's for my own whimsy. Alright, anyway. That's it. I don't really need to make this any longer. That's all. I'm just going to do a bunch of stuff like this over and over again inside. And then when I get another revelation, I can use this to stick in there. Some people do all this in a Bible journal, like a Bible specific for journaling. But I tried Bible journaling, and I didn't like having to paint over the page before I got started doing the art. I felt like that just was like so time consuming, and by then I've moved on to something else. It's just my attention is just so short lately. All right, so I can keep this for some other project. So I got 2 pages, and then, sorry, my nose is kind of running. What do I want to do? This says, "In peace I will both lie down and sleep, for you alone, O Lord, make me dwell in safety." That's from Psalm 4:8. So I'm not going to put this here because I think what I want to do is use this on a different page and then go into Psalm 4:8 and write about it. I sometimes use these as like a jumping off point for where my spirit goes or where I want to be led. Some of these things I don't know where they are. So go into all the world and proclaim the gospel to the whole creation. That sounds like a Paul thing. I don't know if that was Paul, but it sounds like it. Okay, maybe we just do just a cross. That could work. Yeah, anyway, just playing. I'm sure people do much better, more elegant and more thought out pieces than I am. His mercy flows in wave after wave. Well, isn't that true? Now I'm going to do that here. So that's pretty. That's a pretty page to journal on. And this one's got like a little hidden thing in it. Eventually it's all going to look really full and thick like on the sides. I only got to here, but you can use washi tape on the corners. Ew, gross, my little snot rag was in frame. Sorry, y'all. All right, I could have ended this about, I don't know, 5 minutes ago. Have a good day.